David, a couple of days on from that victory over Cork, your reflection on the game?
Obviously it was a great battle. I suppose we always were expecting that battle off Cork. We have a battle like that every year. I suppose the fact that they had finished the league very strongly as well. Particularly they kicked 2-16 against Armagh their last game, so we were really looking forward to a great battle, and obviously after a poor start we were happy with how we controlled the second half. Loads to work on, but it's a victory, and that's what the size of it.
From the outside looking in, some people might say it was a bit closer than they thought. From what you've been saying there, you weren't too surprised, were you?
No. There's so little between teams, especially when you add the rivalry and things into it. And as I said, after the start that they got, we were 4 points down, I think twice. So we were happy to come back from that. But we were always expecting that it was going to be the battle that it was.
What are the work-ons there you touched on that you need to improve ahead of the next day?
I suppose we were sloppy in terms of our skill errors a good few times. No tactical element to that. No. A lot of the time they weren't even in contact. A couple of solos went astray and bounces and things. But we'll be trying to improve that as the weeks go on. That's kind of the main thing really. A lot of it was just kind of individual errors. So outside of that, I suppose it's just keeping up what we're trying to do and keep improving.
There's a couple of talking points on the weekend in general across all the games. One of the ones was attendances. I think there was 18 or 19,000 at the game on the weekend. I think a couple of years ago that was up to around 30,000. What do you put down to the I don't want to say the dwindling attendances, but the attendances going maybe in the wrong direction?
Yeah, exactly. I suppose going to Kerry-Cork, there would have been 45,000 there in Killarney. Look, it's early in the year. Maybe people traditionally aren't in championship mode yet, and this is, the public as opposed to the players. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. I suppose the fact that the games aren't knockout, does that make a difference? Kerry-Cork up to the qualifiers would have been a knockout game. So maybe that's something to do with it. I'm not sure. I suppose this particular weekend I even found it myself. Sunday there was so much sport on. And at times it's nearly easier to stay at home and watch all the other sports. So that maybe that was the reason too,
I suppose just on that, and I know it's something that Jarlath has touched on as well. He spoke about if it could be done. I know he's only floated the idea of moving the finals back to September. The reason why I'm asking that question now is it kind of feeds on what you're saying, that because the championship starts so early, there's so much other sport on. Would you be in favour if it was possible to shift it back in that traditional slot?
I'm not sure. I suppose the school element of it I always thought was enjoyable. Let's say when Kerry were in the All-Ireland and we were in school, you'd have a great build up to it. And if Kerry were successful, then they'd be bringing the cup to the school. Whereas, obviously, the way it goes at the moment, you've about another month. Look, as a teacher, it's great to have a month of a summer when the season ends. But that's a very selfish point of view. So look, I'm not sure. It's great that there is conversations being had because we all want to find the right solutions to things. But it's hard to know what they'll do, really.
Would it help, I suppose, to just go back to the attendance of the weekend, like you said there was so much sport on? Would it help if it was in a different slot, a big game like that?
Possibly. Look, I suppose the Premiership would be finished, the rugby would be generally finished, wouldn't it? Possibly, yeah. That would make sense. Like where you'd have your own kind of slot, yeah.
Look, I suppose looking ahead to the next day, it's Clare. Just speaking there, they're back in a Munster final. I think it's back-to-back Munster finals for them for the first time in 80 odd years. Yeah. What are you expecting from Clare?
Again, a very tough battle. They have basically a Kerry management team now. So look, they'll know an awful lot about us. We've played each other a good bit over the last few years. So again, expecting a really tough battle. We're not. I don't think anyone is sure where the venue is yet. I think there's a toss going or something like that. So we'll see. Obviously, if we have to go away tennis, it'll make it extremely difficult as well. So we're really looking forward to it.
Where do you assess where I suppose Kerry are now? Like you said, you have a league campaign under your belt. You've got your traditional Munster rivals, a game at the weekend. Where do you assess where Kerry are at in terms of trying to get back here later on in the year?
It's hard to know. Look, I suppose, and everyone is sick of hearing it, but we're genuinely not thinking about that. We're just trying to improve with each session and get better with each game and see where that takes us. Look, I suppose if you start looking too far ahead, then it's where you'll slip up. So, as cliché as it sounds, we're just taking it one session and one game at a time.
As a group, do you feel in a stronger place, I suppose, than you were 12 months ago? I suppose just with the experience that comes year on year.
I suppose so. Look, we've been able to blood a couple of young fellas. I suppose off the back of the All-Ireland in 22 coming into 23. we had the run with Fossa, so we were back late personally ourselves as well and stuff. So feeling definitely in a better spot this year, and hopefully we can just continue to build on it.
I suppose looking out at your main rivals, I know you're only concentrating on Clare, but main rivals for the All Ireland, it does appear there's a bit of sort of shadow boxing, like you said there. It's a long summer ahead, hopefully for the All Ireland contenders, but we can't read too much into the likes of yourselves, Mayo, Dublin, and what's going on at the moment.
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't think anyone calls it shadow boxing when you're playing that particular game. But look, where teams are at in terms of training phases and stuff like that, maybe it is hard to know. But look, I suppose it's important that you are successful now for positioning in the round robin. Because if you end up as a third or fourth seed, you could be going away to a provincial winner. So it actually does, if you really do think about it down the line, it does pay to be successful in these first couple of games.
You touched on the provincial there, and I suppose there's two sides to this. We're talking about a Clare team there that are absolutely delighted to be back in a Munster final. There's people still saying that, look, they're not fit for purpose, bar possibly, obviously Ulster and at a stretch maybe Connacht. Do you still see the provincials as having a huge part to play in the jigsaw, or should we have a look at it?
I'm not sure. Like, I suppose, look, when you're in the middle of it, you're not thinking about those kind of things. There's so much else to worry about. Just thinking off the top of my head here now, the provincials, again, it's a traditional thing. Like, you're going to tell the Munster Council that their competition isn't going ahead anymore, and it's their main source of income. I'm not sure. Of course there'll be changes, and there'll be changes for the better. It's just when there's so many traditions that have been in place, it's just hard to change them.
But you're looking forward to that Clare game?
Yeah, really looking forward to it now. Yeah.
Great stuff. Best of luck. Thanks for being David.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.